Hey guys, Tractor Guy here. So in this video, I'm just gonna quickly go over what I'm doing here to dig this trampoline hole. As you can see in the video, I didn't have any of that orange paint that I usually spray to draw out the circle. This yard had some rocks that I just kind of placed around the circle to mark where I needed to dig. What I did first was I grabbed my tape measure. I measured the trampoline. I always like to dig about a half a foot to a foot bigger than the actual trampoline. As I dig, the hole tends to get a little smaller at the bottom, so I start a little bigger at the top because the sidewalls tend to slope inward as I dig down. The problem that I run into when I'm digging is obviously the lack of arm length. I guess you'd say the backhoe is very limited. It can't reach across the entire trampoline, and so I have to dig at the very back first because the wall is right there and I can't get to that side, so I have to make sure to dig the back. I think during this one I didn't actually do that. I had to kind of do my best to dig as far down as I could, but there was still some in the back left, and I snuck back as close to the wall and close to the hole as I could. You'll see that at the end of the video. For this particular customer, I gave them a pretty good deal for digging this trampoline. I charged them about $100 less than what I usually charge. If you saw right there, one of the homeowners asked me if I could put the dirt in another spot. It took me a little extra time. But if you're a homeowner and you want your dirt put in a specific spot, please let us know before. We don't like to move dirt twice. That's just one of those things. Kind of a pet peeve. Anyway, if you're watching this and you're the homeowner, no offense. So what I did after I dug a few scoops with the backhoe is you saw that I used the front loader because it just moves a lot more dirt out of the hole. Eventually you can't do that, you just have to use the backhoe to move the dirt. The reason why I put the dirt right there is it's quick, it's easy, more efficient. So moving it clear over there where you can see, it just takes a little more time. Now I'm digging the back part, or the front part, however you want to look at it. Since I ran over the line, this is basically just guesswork for me. There's a better way, I'm sure, but usually I do pretty good at being able to guess. But I do like to carve out about a foot down to get that round circle so I know where I'm going to dig the rest of the hole. So I'll dig down a bit all around the circle, get all that dirt out of there with the front loader, and then I'll just go from there. You can see this St. George area has interesting colors to it. This is clay material. Sometimes it's very soft, like I was lucky on this one because it's soft, like you can see here. Sometimes the clay gets so hard it forms almost a rock, and if you run into that, it can get very difficult to dig these holes. Fast forward, you can see that I've got it dug down. I can't use the front loader anymore, so I'm just using the backhoe. This is the next day. I'd say this hole probably took a total of 4 hours, and the bucket that I have on the tractor is 24 inches This Kubota, it does, I'm very impressed with it. You can see right here that I didn't quite get the back like I was saying before, so I'm snugging the tractor as close as I can to that wall, which can be kind of dangerous because when you're digging and you're trying to move dirt and you don't have the legs down on the backhoe, your tractor will tend to move, and if you're not watching closely, your front loader will hit the wall if you're not paying attention, so you got to be careful with that. You can see right here I'm getting really close to that wall, moving some dirt out of the way with the front loader so I can get in there a little bit closer. Gets a little sketchy because you don't want to get too close, risk the part of the wall collapsing and your tractor going with it. But I had to get close enough to be able to reach that very back part to carve that out and get the rest of the dirt out of there. I should have done this at the very beginning. I don't know why I didn't. Again, you can see all those different colors, which is kind of cool. That's typical for this area in St. George. A lot of clay. I had to take some dirt out right there so that my tractor wouldn't tip towards the hole, it would tip away from the hole. And again, that just helped me get leverage so I could get that dirt out of there, because when I'm pulling on that dirt, it tends to pull the tractor towards the hole. And I didn't want to risk falling in. So a few key things that I would like to talk about when digging a trampoline hole. Again, at the top, I like to start a little bit bigger, make it about a foot bigger than the actual trampoline hole. If you guys have any comments or constructive criticism as to what I could do better here, I'm definitely open for suggestions if you want to leave a comment. Another thing, I dug it about 6 inches deeper than the height of the trampoline itself. I've heard that when you install trampolines, you want the actual trampoline to stick above the ground level to allow for airflow. It makes the trampoline a little more bouncy. I don't know if that's true or not. Most people will put them flush with the ground anyway for aesthetic reasons. It just looks cleaner. I dig mine a little deeper, and the reason for that is I like to, when I install the trampoline itself, I put them on blocks, like the one that the wall is made out of. The blocks tend to have a little notch, and if you buy the right ones, and the frame of the trampoline will fit right into that notch, and from there I can brace the legs. I usually put like a pipe in between each leg, stretching from one leg to the other leg. That'll keep the legs from collapsing over time. And then I'll either buy a kit that's plastic that a company here in Utah makes. It's very costly though. If the customer isn't too picky, I've got some roofing tin that's already painted. It won't rust. It just wraps around the whole thing. That'll keep the dirt from collapsing in. The important thing is just to make sure that those legs have some support in between them, because the dirt over time will eventually push those legs inward and your trampoline will collapse. And then the other thing obviously is to wrap it with something. Again, there's a kit out there that they make to keep the dirt out. I just wrap it in tin with self-tapping screws, just as long as the tin is below the level of the ground, so because you don't want to get cut on that. And then most of the time people will put curbing around the trampoline or put retaining wall blocks, some type of decorative media to make it look good. Personally, I like the curbing look. It makes it look clean. And then we'll also cover the tin so it's not sharp and you don't cut yourself. Right here I'm just measuring, making sure everything looks good, making sure it's deep enough, digging around the edges there. Just a little bit of finish work so that when the customer, these guys chose to install it themselves, so I just wanted to make sure that when they put it in, it fit the first time and they didn't have to do any extra digging. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments or tips, let me know as well. Thanks.